Chapter 2. The Mystery Boy. Aditi cautiously stepped out from behind the curtains, reassured by the boy's demeanor and his apparent harmlessness. She couldn't deny the curiosity that gnawed at her, demanding to know who this mysterious visitor was and what had brought him to her. Her voice trembled slightly as she inquired, "Who are you, and what do you want?" The boy, who had introduced himself as Ajay, regarded her with a solemn expression. He replied, "There is a purpose and reasons why I came looking for you. To understand our purpose, we must embark on a journey through mysterious events." Aditi listened intently, her fear gradually giving way to intrigue. She nodded in agreement, eager to uncover the enigma surrounding their meeting and their subsequent path. "All right, Ajay," she said, "I'm willing to join you on this journey. But first, tell me, did you, like everyone else, also die?" Ajay nodded, his eyes holding a glint of wisdom beyond his years. "Yes," he replied softly. "I was the first one to die among all." His words hung in the air, an introduction to a tale that was bound to reveal more mysteries and unveil their shared destiny in the world beyond life. Aditi felt a shiver of apprehension as Ajay mentioned going out into the darkness. The thought of venturing into the unknown was daunting for her. She confessed, "It's dark outside, and I'm scared of the dark." Ajay, who exuded an air of confidence beyond his years, reassured her, "I'm here with you. Besides, you're a ghost now. What harm can the darkness or the world do to you?" His words gave Aditi some measure of reassurance. She was curious to learn more about this mysterious journey he spoke of. She asked, "Where are we going?" Ajay replied, "Our first destination is the in-between place of the afterlife, which some might refer to as a place like hell. But you're not going there to be put in hell, Aditi. We're going to visit and learn about what's happening and what has happened. You'll understand more once we get there. Afterward, we'll journey to heaven, and then, in time, return to earth." Aditi was bewildered by the notion of visiting both heaven and a place that sounded like hell, and the prospect of coming back to earth left her even more mystified. She inquired, "Why would we come back to earth?" Ajay's gaze held a glimmer of knowledge that only deepened the intrigue. He replied, "There are reasons for our journey, Aditi, and we won't fully comprehend them until we arrive at our destinations. But rest assured, I'll be here with you every step of the way, and together, we will unravel the mysteries of the realms that exist beyond our earthly lives." With Ajay's guidance and encouragement, Aditi stepped outside her home, embarking on a journey into the mysterious afterlife. As they stood in the dimly lit night, Ajay instructed her, "You must fly now. The place we're about to go is far from here." Aditi's eyes widened with a mixture of excitement and uncertainty. She stammered, "I don't know how to fly." Ajay's reassuring smile seemed to calm her nerves. "It's simple," he explained. "Just imagine that you're flying. Your mind will control your flight." Taking a deep breath, Aditi closed her eyes and visualized herself soaring into the night sky. To her astonishment, it began to happen. She felt herself lifting off the ground, her ethereal form effortlessly defying gravity. A rush of exhilaration washed over her as she experienced the sensation of flight. She maneuvered through the air with ease, moving left and right, ascending and descending. "This is amazing!" she exclaimed. Ajay chuckled with a knowing grin. "I knew you would enjoy it. This is the best part of being a ghost. You can go through anything and fly wherever you want." Aditi was enthralled by the newfound freedom and exhilaration that flying offered. She couldn't resist testing her new abilities, soaring higher into the night sky as Ajay led the way. Together, they swiftly glided through the darkened city. Their journey eventually led them to a tech park in the high-tech city. Within the park, they discovered a serene garden, complete with a bench. Aditi decided to try sitting on it but found herself falling right through it. She landed on the ground with a gentle laugh. Ajay joined in her laughter and explained, "You see, that's the curse about being a ghost. You can't sit on any man-made things, but you can sit on the ground if you really want to sit. It's a unique experience, isn't it? Aditi nodded, marveling at the peculiarities of her newfound existence. As she watched the world go by from her position on the ground, she couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder about the extraordinary journey they had embarked upon. As Aditi stood near the bench in the garden, she decided not to attempt sitting again. She was content to stand and absorb her new surroundings. Looking around, she asked Ajay, "What are we doing here?" Ajay glanced at his invisible wrist as if checking the time and then replied, "We're waiting. We're early. It's only 1 a.m. We have another 30 minutes to go." Aditi's curiosity piqued, and she inquired, 30 minutes to go to what? I don't see anything around. Ajay explained calmly, "We have to wait for the gate of hell to appear and open. It will manifest right here in this place." Aditi felt a cold shiver run up from her stomach to her head at the mere mention of hell. Her eyes widened with apprehension as she implored Ajay, "Can we skip the part of hell and go directly to, well, anywhere else?" Ajay shook his head, his expression resolute. "Hell is very important, Aditi. It's the only place where justice is actually served. There's no skipping it. Without the concept of hell, how would there be justice for the living, the dead, and those who have suffered? If there were no consequences for one's actions, the world, and all worlds, would be far worse than living in hell." Aditi's initial fear and discomfort began to wane as she considered Ajay's words. The concept of justice held a profound significance, one that seemed to transcend the boundaries of the living and the spirit world. Her unease gradually evolved into a sense of duty, and she stood with Ajay, ready to face the mysterious gate of hell when it appeared, determined to understand the role it played in the grander scheme of existence. As Aditi listened to Ajay's explanations about their journey to hell and heaven, her confusion only seemed to deepen. She couldn't help but voice her curiosity. "How come you've been to hell and heaven so fast?" she asked. "And who are you, anyway?" Ajay appeared understanding and patient, a reassuring presence amidst the enigma surrounding their journey. He replied, "I was confused like you when it all began. I found myself without any answers, not knowing what was happening. The gate appeared in my garden one day, and I was compelled to enter. What I discovered was a world vastly different from Earth." He continued, "A lady approached me and welcomed me by name. She had been waiting for me for many years. She informed me that an important day had arrived, and that I had a crucial purpose to fulfill. My role was to meet you and embark on a journey to unveil the mysteries behind countless deaths. What you're about to see hasn't occurred yet, but it's on the precipice of unfolding in time. Our mission is to unravel the events that led to these deaths and prevent them from happening." Aditi felt a mixture of emotions, from awe to disbelief. She wondered aloud, "So, this is just a dream?" Ajay responded firmly, "No, it's not a dream. We're visiting parallel universes. What's at stake is not just preventing the death of a city. That would be a relatively minor challenge compared to what has been happening for thousands of years. We have a monumental task ahead of us, Aditi, one that goes beyond the boundaries of the known and the unknown." As Aditi and Ajay engaged in their deep conversation, the atmosphere around them seemed to grow increasingly tense. Suddenly, a remarkable and daunting sight unfolded before their eyes. The gates of hell began to rise from the ground with a deliberate and eerie slowness, resembling an elevator ascending from the depths. The gate was a fiery, blazing red, as if it had been forged in the hottest furnace. A crimson, circular sky loomed in the middle of the gate, and its borders were outlined with ominous, churning red clouds, as though they were emanating steam from their searing heat. Ajay turned to Aditi, his expression resolute. "Come, let's enter," he urged. Aditi hesitated for a moment, fear gnawing at the edges of her resolve. She looked at the imposing gate and back at Ajay. He assured her, "I've been here before. You can trust me." With his guidance, they approached the gates, and, as if sensing their presence, they opened on their own accord. A swirling portal to hell was revealed before them. In the face of this surreal and awe-inspiring sight, they took a collective breath and stepped into the fiery portal. As they crossed the threshold, the ground seemed to vanish beneath them. The sensation was akin to plummeting into the sky from a great height, and they found themselves free-falling at incredible speeds. The velocity increased with each passing moment, their forms plummeting into the unknown as they journeyed further into the mysteries and challenges of the afterlife. The fall seemed endless, and Aditi braced herself for a hard impact. To her surprise, they landed softly on fluffy clouds. The experience was bewildering, as the rapid descent had given her a sensation of imminent danger. She couldn't help but wonder about the nature of hell and how different it was from what she had imagined. Although the fall had only taken a few minutes, the shock was enough to make her hesitant about continuing their journey to this mysterious realm. As they rose from the soft clouds, they found themselves on a brick road made of clouds. This cloudy path extended onward and led to an area with thousands of gates, each bearing symbols and emblems on their surfaces. It was as if they were walking through a celestial gate hub, with a multitude of portals leading to different worlds. The gates towered overhead, each with its unique symbolism, and each gate framed an entrance to a realm unknown. Aditi and Ajay began to walk along the brick cloud road, taking in the grand expanse of gates and portals. They saw large planets in the distance, giving the impression of journeying through a different galaxy, but this realm was distinct. It was a world of countless gates, each of them leading to a diverse reality. One gate bore the symbol of a god, and behind it lay a portal connected to a luminous tube that stretched across light years into its own world. The other gates bore symbols of various animals, and their portals were connected in a similar fashion. As they continued down the endless brick cloud road, they passed gate after gate, each featuring a unique animal symbol. Gates showcasing a cow, a pig, and a chicken were among the first four they encountered. As they ventured further, they witnessed a variety of animal symbols on the gates that lay ahead. The road was a straight path, connecting all the gates in a long line. It seemed to stretch into infinity, with no end in sight. Despite their curiosity, none of the gates opened, and Aditi and Ajay could only observe the diverse animal symbols as they walked past each one, unaware of the multitude of worlds and experiences that lay behind these mysterious portals. As they continued along the brick cloud road, Ajay shared more details about the nature of this mystical realm. He explained, "When you enter any of these gates, you'll be reborn as the animal associated with that gate in the future on Earth. Based on your past actions and sins, whether they are minor or major, souls will be assigned to various creatures, birds, insects, fishes, and more." Aditi listened intently, absorbing the weight of the implications. The concept was both fascinating and sobering. Each gate held the potential to determine the course of a soul's existence on Earth based on their past actions. As they walked forward, one of the portals suddenly sprang to life, and a demon emerged. With a swift and menacing motion, the demon forcibly pulled a man from the portal. The man knelt on the cloudy ground, his voice filled with desperation as he begged for forgiveness for his sins and crimes. The demon's response was stern: "There is no forgiveness for crimes. To pardon them would only bring more suffering to you and those around you. The more crimes you commit, the more enemies you'll accumulate, and your life will become a living hell." The man's pleas went unanswered as he refused to pass through the open camel gate, which had materialized upon their arrival. In response, the demon seized the man, his immense size dwarfing the hapless soul. With an abrupt and mighty throw, the man was propelled into the open portal, which led to a world connected by a tube of radiant light. The demon, after ensuring that the man had been dispatched through the portal, turned its attention towards Ajay and Aditi. As the colossal figure of the demon loomed closer, Aditi's fear intensified. She was overcome by a sense of dread, and her consciousness slipped away. Her world went dark as she fainted in the presence of the enigmatic demon, leaving Ajay to face the unknown alone. After about 10 to 15 minutes of unconsciousness, Aditi gradually regained awareness. Her eyes fluttered open, and she found herself face to face with the imposing demon. Startled and overwhelmed, she let out a shrill scream, her fright echoing through the ethereal expanse. To her astonishment, the demon's response was not one of intimidation or aggression. Instead, the towering figure went down on one knee before her. In a voice filled with an unexpected warmth, the demon said, "What a lovely surprise to see you here, Aditi. Your presence has truly made my day." Aditi was baffled and taken aback. The demon's reaction was nothing like she had expected. She turned to Ajay, who appeared just as shocked as she was. The demon continued, addressing Aditi, "Why wouldn't I know you? If you live long enough in life and the afterlife, stories are bound to emerge about you." Aditi was perplexed. She questioned, "But how could you know what we're doing here?" The demon replied, "I may not know the specifics, but there must be something important that brings someone like you to these places. It's a rare occurrence for someone with your nature to visit these realms. There must be a significant purpose behind your journey." As the conversation continued, Aditi remained puzzled. The demon's final words were cryptic, "Duty calls. I'll take my leave." With that, a portal opened, and the demon departed, leaving Aditi and Ajay to ponder the mysteries that lay before them in this enigmatic realm. As the demon entered the portal and it closed behind him, Aditi was left in a state of surprise. The sudden appearance and subsequent disappearance of the demon had only deepened the enigma of this mysterious realm. She turned to Ajay, who seemed equally taken aback by the unexpected events. Curiosity and uncertainty filled the air as Aditi asked, "Who am I that the demon would kneel before me? Am I the good guy or the bad guy?" Ajay replied honestly, "I don't know who you are. I've been told about these purposes, and my motivation is to save my family from going to hell and to take them to heaven with me. As scary and dangerous as these places may seem, it's essential to complete our mission." Aditi continued to press for answers. "What's next? What do we have to do here?" Ajay explained their next course of action. "We need to go further, but if we walk, it would take months. Fortunately, we can fly here. In this realm, we can fly anywhere we want." As they soared above the countless gates, the concept of humans being reborn as animals, birds, insects, and fishes based on their sins and crimes weighed heavily on Aditi's mind. She contemplated the reality that every action in life could have consequences in the afterlife, reinforcing the importance of doing no wrong, even to the smallest of creatures. Curious about Ajay's earlier reference to a god, she asked, "Did you see God?" Ajay responded with a philosophical perspective. "Which God? There are many gods. At the topmost, there is no such thing as a single God. By now, you should understand that time and creation are older than any God. It's a puzzle how God came into existence. Creation existed long before God, or else how will God be there? Time and existences had to exist for God to come into existences, and it continues to evolve for countless forevers. There are many powerful entities in existence, with various natural abilities, capabilities, and the capacity to learn and create. It's impossible to say which came first, and the nature of existence is infinite. Countless formations and occurrences have happened over countless forevers, and many are still unfolding in both known and unknown places. Creation itself is a result of natural formations due to environmental factors, and this process has been ongoing for countless forevers, with countless entities and phenomena constantly emerging and evolving." Aditi absorbed Ajay's profound explanation, leaving her with a deeper understanding of the vast complexities and mysteries that lay before them in this surreal realm. Aditi was astonished by Ajay's profound knowledge of the afterlife and the workings of this ghostly realm. She couldn't help but ask, "How did you learn so much about all this?" Ajay explained, "Time moves differently here. One day in this ghostly world is like 10 years on Earth. After one dies, learning about the afterlife becomes the most crucial priority, even more than learning about life itself. As they journeyed further, they arrived at a place where millions of gates were present, each the size of an inch. These gates led to various portals, and the sheer number of portals astonished them. These portals linked to different destinations, and the landscape was vast, sandy, and bustling. Outside the gates, thousands of ghosts were in the process of entering. A multitude of demons, each no larger than 3 inches, moved about the area, overseeing the proceedings. The human ghosts entering the gates were even smaller, barely an inch in size. These small, ethereal figures were embarking on their journey to hell, a sight that left Aditi in awe. Aditi marveled at the miniature size of the humans and the demons, and she couldn't help but comment, "They are so small, hardly an inch tall." Ajay confirmed her observation, saying, "Yes, that's the real problem. You see, the number of entrants is staggering. Thousands and thousands are entering through each gate." Aditi felt a sense of foreboding and asked, "Is this what will happen after the city dies?" Ajay responded, "It's a part of it, but there's more. If the pandemic spreads and other cities are affected, there will be no life left on earth. Those souls will enter the hells as grains of sand, lost in an endless desert. Even after billions of years, you won't be able to find which hell they're in. They will endure the consequences of their sins and crimes for eternity. Our mission is to stop this process, this large-scale death, so that souls can pass on to the afterlife in the usual way. They should neither enter the gigantic gates of hell nor be confined to the tiny ones." Ajay's realization seemed to distress him deeply. He placed a hand on his forehead in apparent frustration, emphasizing the urgency and gravity of their mission. Ajay looked solemn as he continued to explain the gravity of the situation to Aditi. "The real problem is that many on earth are innocent in the sense that they don't even know they're committing crimes. Some have lost the will to abstain from wrongdoing. They've been mentally affected by false information that leads them to make wrongful decisions. It's not their fault, but innocence doesn't absolve them of the consequences. A crime is a crime, no matter the circumstances." He went on, emphasizing the importance of addressing the root of the issue. "Even if we stop the pandemic, we still need to prevent people from committing crimes. No matter who told them what misinformation they received, crime is still crime. Those who harm others will be cursed to become the same kind they've harmed and will be barred from entering heaven." Ajay lamented the cycle of misinformation that had trapped so many souls in a never-ending loop of ignorance. "The worst part is that different kinds are doing the same. Everyone is caught in a cycle of information passed down from ancient, uneducated days when people lacked knowledge of proper food, education, and a clear understanding of right and wrong. They're just processing the information they have in their minds, and it's causing a never-ending cycle of suffering." It was clear that Ajay believed there was a deeper issue at play, one that extended beyond the immediate pandemic and into the core of human behavior and societal values. Addressing this root problem was an essential part of their mission to save countless souls from eternal suffering. Aditi contemplated the situation and then rephrased the issue, seeking to clarify her understanding. "So, if I understand correctly, everyone on earth, across all kinds, is essentially innocent. The lack of proper access to education, insufficient food, and an understanding of what's right and wrong have led them to make wrong choices, driven by the hope for better days and the avoidance of suffering. If this cycle continues as it is, things will only get worse." Ajay was surprised by how succinctly Aditi had encapsulated the problem. Her reframing of the issue made it even more compelling and comprehensible. "You've understood it perfectly," he affirmed. "It's a result of wrong information passed down through the ages due to the absence of adequate education and the persistent suffering of humanity and other kinds alike. The situation has spiraled out of control due to the proliferation of misinformation, often imposed upon mankind through force and fear by those who sought to gain power." They both shared a realization that humanity, regardless of the kind or beliefs, was capable of manipulating information, even in the name of a deity or faith, to further their own objectives. Ultimately, they were all innocent in their desire to live as they saw fit. Some individuals went as far as committing crimes in the name of their faith and manipulated others by claiming divine authority for their actions. The truth was that the common thread was a pursuit of a better life, but the distorted information and misunderstandings had driven them down a perilous path. Aditi and Ajay found it increasingly evident that the concept of God would never involve criminal acts. It simply didn't align with the notion of divinity. God wouldn't commit crimes, seize his own land, or subjugate his own creation, coercing them into worship. Such actions didn't make sense in the context of a divine being. It became abundantly clear to them that the injustices and wrongdoing were not the work of God but rather the result of human misinterpretation and manipulation of religious beliefs. Aditi and Ajay decided it was time to venture to heaven. Returning to the same place they had used to access the brick road in the clouds, the portal opened and transported them back to the starting point on Earth. From there, Ajay led the way to another location. They arrived at a beautifully maintained garden in a park in Jubilee Hills, the city still eerily silent and devoid of any signs of life. It was about 3 a.m., and the first rays of the day's sunrise were beginning to break over the horizon. As they gazed at the serene garden, a cloud materialized in the sky, and from this cloud descended the gates of heaven. The gates were grand, a majestic golden arch that stood before them. 7 solid bars adorned either side of the gate, neatly dividing the arch into 2 equal halves. The gates opened as they approached, granting them access to the circular portal that was enveloped by a border of white clouds. The moment they stepped into the portal, they were instantly transported as if they were traveling at the speed of light. Their journey concluded at a colossal, pure white building that seemed to emerge from the very clouds themselves. Descending from the clouds, they walked toward the immense white structure, the steps leading up to massive golden doors. The building was adorned with statues of angels, and the entire structure gleamed in pristine pearl white. The doors, though, stood out as they were massive, capable of accommodating giants and dinosaurs with ease. As they reached the enormous golden doors, they were awestruck to see the doors swing open on their own, granting them entry into the realm of heaven. As Aditi and Ajay entered the magnificent entrance to heaven, they were warmly greeted by a strikingly beautiful girl. Her complexion seemed to radiate a soft, golden glow. She wore a long, pearly white and gold dress that appeared as soft as silk, with the golden elements complementing the dress exquisitely. Her golden shoes were equally captivating, and the train of her dress elegantly flowed along the pearl-white marble floor. The area where she stood appeared to shimmer with a golden hue, vanishing after a few moments. The trailing part of her dress was adorned with intricate golden designs, and from the front, the dress revealed her ankles, showcasing her eye-catching shoes. Her hair was artfully tied with white and gold ribbons, resembling pure pearls and golden laces. With a warm smile, the girl extended her welcome to Aditi and Ajay, inviting them inside. She directed their attention to a massive portal that resembled a celestial Milky Way, suggesting, "There are billions and quadrillions of worlds in heaven, each linked to where you're destined to be. Once you enter the portal, it will lead you." The sheer magnitude of the revelation left Aditi and Ajay in awe. "Quadrillions of heavens," Ajay remarked to Aditi. "It's endless. It would take forever just to explore all of these heavens." The scope of what lay before them was staggering, and the prospect of embarking on their journey to explore these realms was both thrilling and humbling. Aditi couldn't help but wonder and asked the welcoming angel, "Sarah, are you an angel?" To which Sarah replied, "Yes, I'm in charge of the gates of heaven. I oversee those who enter the heavens." Ajay, still inquisitive, pointed out, "You don't have wings," noticing the absence of the angelic hallmark. Sarah, with a serene smile, responded, "I can have wings if I want to." As she willed it, her imagination brought forth magnificent wings on her back. Each wing was as tall and grand as she was, capable of swift, light-speed flapping. The wings were a dazzling display, almost imperceptible, resembling golden currents of electricity that flowed up and down in intricate patterns, forming her ethereal appendages. With the wings in place, Sarah beckoned them to enter the portal. "It will transport you to where you need to go," she assured them, "and I'll be here when you return." Her presence and demeanor exuded a sense of serenity and authority as she prepared to guide them on their journey through the heavens. As Aditi and Ajay entered the portal, they found themselves in a world that was light years ahead in terms of technology. Everything around them was futuristic, with advanced machinery and synthetic life forms, far beyond Earth's technological capabilities. They were greeted by a technologically advanced being named Zane, who had been anticipating their arrival. Zane led them into a super laboratory filled with hundreds of screens displaying intricate data and information. He explained that this laboratory was dedicated to forecasting future events, particularly those with catastrophic consequences. Zane conveyed his concern that millions of lives were at stake in the days to come, but their arrival held the potential to prevent this impending disaster. He elaborated, "We have detailed knowledge of the location where this disaster is set to occur. It's imperative that you locate the underground facility responsible for illegal human experiments. Your mission is to report these findings to the Commissioner, and if you fail, the consequences will be dire, resulting in a global catastrophe." Zane shared critical information regarding the incident, explaining that an American tourist named John Harper, who had fallen ill, was kidnapped for human trials. They needed to locate John Harper before the perpetrators did, and he would arrive at the ITC hotel on the 31st. Additionally, they were tasked with identifying the underground labs located in an old building on the outskirts of Shamshabad. This mission carried enormous significance, and the fate of millions hung in the balance. Aditi and Ajay returned to the familiar portal of heaven after their eventful journey to Zane's futuristic world. Sarah welcomed them back with a warm smile, inquiring about their journey. They shared that it had been a beautiful world, but they hadn't had the chance to explore it thoroughly. Aditi expressed her appreciation for the experience, to which Sarah replied, "That's nice to know you enjoyed your trip." Sarah guided them to the Earth portal, and they returned to the bustling high-tech city. Ajay dropped Aditi off at her home, and they bid each other goodbye as he headed to his own place. Aditi, feeling the weight of the information she had gathered and the impending challenges, decided to take a brief rest. As she lay down in her body, hoping that everything would return to normal, she soon drifted into sleep. An hour later, her alarm woke her up, and to her surprise, everything seemed to have returned to its previous state. It felt as if her incredible journey through multiple realms had been condensed into a lengthy dream, yet the memories remained vivid and untouched. Checking her phone, she noted that it was 7:30 a.m. on May 31st. The reality of the impending pandemic and the colossal task of preventing crime across the world loomed over her. It appeared as an immense challenge for a single individual, and Aditi contemplated the path that lay ahead, knowing that it would require her determination and effort to make a difference.